Hello guys, welcome back to Tsumihoroboshi, starting chapter 12. Putting it in there. It's been a good day. Pretty active day in the recording scene. 2 episodes of Cat Lady, 1 Doki Doki before this, then I took a little bit of a break, but gotta get the backlog fixed. I don't trust myself to record everything on a day-to-day basis just because of how actively I've been recording, how I've been missing recording days. So I want to get that back up to snuff. Though I gotta say, I'm enjoying. This is like an endurance challenge almost this month, recording double the amount of videos. It's a fun thing, and it's not like I'm not even skipping because I'm burnt out. Like I've been burnt out from recording before. I'm just literally tired. I think I'm like literally getting. It's draining my stamina a bit, but it's been a good time. Um, but in general, it's a good day. It's actually Thanksgiving today, even though I on the Monday's episode it was it then, but I'm recording it like today. And yeah, got some turkey, potatoes. Get your classic Thanksgiving menu, some good eats. Turkey's always a weird meat to me because it's definitely like mid tier in my book, but I always look forward to it for Thanksgiving and or dinner. It's just it's like a dry kind of meat. It's not incredibly tasty, but it's always good once or twice a year, so I enjoyed it, even though it's not like the quality turkey I usually get, just because it's a Corona and it's just a private thing. But it's a good time. Got some sparkling water flavored root beer. It's a unique one. This is my second time having a can. It's pretty good. It's like watered down root beer. And it's the rare case where I like root beer but I hate the diet, so it's a good alternative, honestly. In most cases I'm actually pretty good with the diet flavors, but root beer is the exception. So this is a good workaround. But anyways, enough of the idle chapter. Idle chatter. Don't mind if I'm a little off. Actually, before that also I need to make sure my mic game is on points, because in the last Doki Doki recording I like muted my mic for a good 5 minutes at least, maybe a bit more, which I also did with one of the previous Higurashi episodes. So I'm slacking on that. I know I just started recently muting the mic just for trying to add some quality of life to the channels, so you don't hear me sneeze or cough or even take a drink sometimes, depending on how lazy I am, if I really want to mute the mic. But yeah, I don't want to mess up and like lose commentary for important scenes, but I still think it's a pretty good idea to filter that stuff out. So that's fine. But anyways, what happened last one? We got the confrontation. It was a great chat. Weird twist with Keiichi's backstory. Again, I don't know if that came out of left field or if there was some hinting at that, but that was unexpected. I think we got pretty much the full angle. Keiichi explained his side, and I forgive Keiichi. We'll see how it smooths out with the rest of the club members and the Rena situation itself. I think that maybe it does explain why Keiichi is kind of the way he is to his friends, like how he is so adamant of escaping this crazy nightmare and going back to the normal days with the friends, since that was already kind of an escape from his past life. And like he was really like experiencing after like that stressful life, which just ended up pretty badly. I'm sure like his fun times in Hinamizawa was really a savior, so maybe that's why he's like so adamant on friendship and satisfying his friends or whatever, learning to be a better friend. But yeah, I mean, what's gonna happen now? I have no idea. Hopefully Keiichi picks himself up, but Where will the story go now? I have absolutely no clue. But yeah, let's get started, I guess. Sad Keiichi. At lunchtime the next day, oh my god, this is the whitest the text has been. My eyes are fixed. Everybody in class was talking about Renda's disappearance. We were all worried about her safety, but I kept a safe distance from everybody else.
レナはどこに行っちゃったんだろうね。鬼隠しにあったなんていい加減なことを言ってる連中もいるよ。まったく。
I know, what nerve? We're the ones who demoned people's away, so obviously that didn't happen. No, I'm joking. But that's gonna be funny. Look at that Satoto smile. It already boosted my mood up like 10%. Followed up with a meep. Appreciated. Satoto and Rika-chan noticed something odd about my attitude. Wonder if he's just gonna drop the story. Might as well. Get it off your chest so you're fully revitalized to face off against Rana. Just deliver it nicely, I guess. I don't know how to put it nicely. Just not as bluntly as I used to shoot people and it ended up... I mean, from what Keiichi said, it was just random, but apparently it ended up shooting mainly... Or they got it twisted where they're saying he preferred shooting like little kids. Oh man. What a weird addition. I couldn't sleep at all last night because of what Rena told me. Friends don't keep secrets from one another. That sentence bit into my heart, and I couldn't sleep because of the pain. Okay, I like it, Keiichi. Do it.
レナに関すること？
いや、そうじゃない。俺自身についてのことなんだ。
I decided to tell them about it because they were my friends. But I didn't know what I was expecting to change by doing so. They might despise me. Was there any benefit in telling them? No, there wasn't. I knew that for sure. But I still wanted to tell them about it, just because I thought it'd help heal the pain I was feeling. The wink.
ああ、ちょっと真面目な話なんだ。聞いてほしい。
Oh man. I know it's not the time, but maybe that's why he was such a good gunslinger in the water gun fight. Oh no, I'm sorry.
俺が引っ越してくる前のことなんだ。
I mean, it backs up what I said before. Like when I said when he like did so well in the water gun fight, I'm like, give Keiichi a gun, he'll survive the arc. Now this kind of reinforces it a little bit.
当時の俺は
Joking, but not really. Oh man, full mythos. I learned the tricks of the game called studying at my cram school. I enjoyed the sense of superiority I felt by getting good grades. I kept studying just because I wanted to look down on the other students. I mean, the feeling of superiority, I feel like I haven't felt that in a while, but it's definitely a good feeling to have, honestly, a little intoxicating. I mean, it's not a good feeling, I think. I mean, it's a feel-good feeling, but it's not exactly a good feeling to have. It's a correction. When my grades got better, my parents got happier, and my teachers praised me. I felt good. It was fun to look down on the students who were good at running, dodgeball, or swimming. That was the only reason I kept studying. Before I knew it, not only was I the top of my class, I was the top of my school. Very impressive. So I started to think I was the most important student there. I looked down on the kids who were playing in the schoolyard during lunch break. I enjoyed feeling a sense of superiority to them in my insignificance. The more I studied, the better everybody expected me to do. They started to place high hopes on me. They expect me to go to the best school in Japan. I flattered myself in thinking I deserved to go to that school as well. But the fun went out of looking down on people, while the burden of studying didn't change a bit. My classmates stopped admiring my cleverness after a while, and my teacher started to push me to study more. Unlucky. All of a sudden, the fun had gone out of it. To begin with, I didn't even like to study. I had average reflexes. I have extremely poor reflexes, sadly. I was average in a fight. I don't even know. I think I love reading fighting stuff, stories, but I am not a fighter at all. I really don't like pain, so I'd probably back off. But I mean, I am fairly strong, I think, and like 10 years ago I did karate, so maybe I'll get a flashback in the middle of the fight and power up, hit him with a nice roundhouse into a back kick. I was an average boy with nothing that really drew attention, so when I found something I could use to get that attention, I jumped on it. It happened to be studying for me, but if it was riding a unicycle or juggling, I would have done that too. When I realized I didn't enjoy studying anymore, it got very boring. I was just a little boy who wanted to be praised when I did something better than anybody else. I finished all of my summer homework because my parents praised me for it, and I took charge of cleaning duties at school because my teachers praised me for it. So when they stopped praising me for what I did, I began to feel as though my life had no meaning. My parents used to give me allowance that was proportional to how good my grades were, so I used to get a substantial amount of money for my age. I don't know if I had natural interest in violence or if I was looking for it because of my frustration at the time. I took an interest in BB guns. Never a BB gunner myself. I mean, I played with water guns, and I know some of the people I know like playing with paint guns. But yeah, I'm not interested in BB guns just because they can inflict pain, and like I said before, I do not like pain, even though I do like... Apparently I like the torture scenes in Higurashi, or in general, they can be very exhilarating to watch, but yeah, I'm not a pain guy. Or a gun guy, really, I don't know. At first I shot at cardboard boxes, it was fun. Being violent at pieces of cardboard relieved a lot of stress. Nobody blamed me for doing that. But soon I started wanting to do something I should never have done. On the box that my BB gun came in was wearing a label that read, "Do not shoot at people." That was when I thought about doing just that. Why did I do something I shouldn't have? It's the temptation. Someone tells you not to do it. You're like, yeah, but I kind of want to do it now that you said it. It's a rough one. I guess I was just immature. I wasn't interested in studying anymore, but I forced myself to do so anyway. My parents forced me to go to several cram schools. I was mad at them for that. I should have told them I didn't want to study anymore. But I didn't have the courage to do that. So I used my frustration as an excuse to do something cowardly. I shot at kids who were younger than I was with my BB gun. Okay, it wasn't random. It was specifically younger kids. It gave me such a thrill. It felt so good to do something bad when I was overcome with studying. Needless to say, I had no personal grudge against the kids I shot. As long as the kids passed through a deserted street, they met the requirements to become my target. I didn't mean to hurt them. I shot at them once or twice from a distance, that's all I wanted to do. But sometimes they didn't react at all because the BBs hit a thicker part of their clothes or something. I didn't like that, so I started to shoot until they noticed they were being hit. The spiciness increases. Yeah, it's honestly just a classic case of bad kid stuff. You always hear kid horror stories where it's like something really bad and it sounds really bad, but at the same time they're like kids, and I low key like can kind of sympathize with how boring, how having a really boring life just feels awful. Obviously, I'm not gonna go shoot some people in deserted alleyways, but like, yeah, it's a rough situation, especially as a kid. You have your whole life in front of you. So you do something dumb because of whatever situation plus immaturity, and then it's like it would really suck if that impacted your future, which I mean it should. You should learn from it, but like, I mean, severely impact it. Kind of like what happened to Rena, even though like that wasn't her doing something dumb, it was just her as a kid, but it really impacted her thing because she had nothing. You couldn't really do anything, and now she's blaming herself. It's kind of like the opposite for Keiichi. He probably wished he didn't do anything, and he blames himself for that, or something. It inevitably escalated into a barrage of gunfire. I studied a lot. I'm doing something good, so I deserve to do something bad and balance out the good thing I'm doing. That was an unbelievably selfish excuse I made. I thought I had a right to do things like that because I was suffering myself. I thought people who weren't suffering like I was deserved to be shot at and to get hurt a little bit. I was so selfish, so arrogant, and so immature. I was distrusted with myself. I could have met myself at that time. I would have given myself a punch in the face so hard I knocked out all my teeth. They started to call it a series of attacks on school children. The principal of my school held a morning assembly to inform everyone about the case and warned them to be careful when playing outside. I was laughing sneakily. The PTA issued a letter of warning and advice to take the safest way to and from school. Parents took turns watching kids when they were walked between home and school in groups. The more serious it got, the more it reminded me of the excitement I first felt when my grades started going up. I was absorbed in that game I was playing. I didn't think I'd get caught someday. I didn't even think to stop doing it either. One day, I found a little girl who was walking down a narrow, dark street all alone. She was a very small child. I don't know if she was on her way to her friend's house or if she was running an errand. I didn't care which. It was careless of her to go out alone. The school warned her not to. So it was her fault. Just like always, I made a selfish excuse and attacked her. Some of the shots hit the back of her head. She noticed she was attacked by somebody. She turned around. It was a natural reaction. At that time, I didn't hesitate to rain hell upon her. So when she turned around, I was still shooting at her. Usually when I shot at a kid, she cried in pain and ran away. But this girl was different. She thrashed around in excruciating pain, holding one of her eyes. When I saw her doing that, I realized what had happened right away. The BB had hit her in the eye. Ugh. Until that moment, I didn't think about what would happen when a pellet that could easily go through a cardboard box hit an eyeball. Anyway, the girl howled in pain, and for the first time, I realized I had done something horrible. She saw me, so I couldn't take her to the hospital. I couldn't do anything about it, so I just left her there while she was still screaming in pain. I wondered if she was okay, and I was worried that she had lost her eye. I kept thinking about her, and I didn't even feel like eating that day. I went to the bookshelf in our living room, snuck a medical book in my room, and studied the structure of a human eye. The human eye. It was too late to make a difference, but I studied what kind of injuries would make a person lose their vision. I knew it wouldn't make the sin I committed weigh any less, even if I found out that she wouldn't lose her sight. I couldn't sleep that night, and I suffered from a high fever. It wasn't my parents, my teachers, or the police who first punished me for what I did. It was my own body. Before dawn, I woke my parents up and confessed to my sin. They were shocked at first, but it seemed like they understood the situation quickly due to my recent disobedient behavior and my interest in BB guns. My mom cried hysterically. My dad slapped me in the face till it swelled up. Before the sun came up, I turned myself into the police accompanied by my parents. Oh man, that was heavy. Got me in my feelings a bit. Man, it's just brutal thinking about too. Anyways, let's see how everyone else feels. Look at Satoko taking it in. Satoko stared at me with a stunned expression. I deserved to receive that kind of look. What I did was very wrong, and I needed to accept that.
それ本当ですの？
ああ、本当だ。今まで隠していて悪かった。
なんでそんなことを今頃になってわざわざ言おうと思ったわけ？
Mion asked me. Rika-chan nodded in agreement.
本音から言うとさ、ケイちゃんどうしたのって感じかね。
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't think you needed to tell them the backstory. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it kind of fits with Keiichi's definition of friendship at this point, so it's kind of understandable, I guess.
まあ、そりゃそうだよな。
違うよ。そんなことわざわざ言い出す必要あったのかなってね。
いや、隠し事をするなんて仲間じゃないよな。俺はみんなのことを仲間だと思ってる。だからもう隠してなんかいられなかったんだ。
圭一はそれを僕たちに話して何を期待しているのですか？
期待なんて別にないよ。俺はただ
許しが欲しくても僕にはあげられないのです。圭一が怪我をさせた人たちにしかそれは与えられませんのです。だから僕たちにそれを話しても何の期待にも応えられないのですよ。
理科の言う通りですわね。潔いのは認めますけれど、そんなことを私たちに打ち明けてどうしたいって言うんですの？
どうしたいってことはないよ。ただ仲間に隠し事は。
My friends looked annoyed by the sudden confession of my past. I took it as a bitter medicine. I got what I deserved.
ケイちゃんさ、ちょいとここで質問なんだけどさ、仲間に隠し事ってしたらいけないわけ？
Yeah, I mean, it's a good explanation from Mion that Keiichi apparently is just, he takes in everything about friendship, so I'm glad he'll take this tip, hopefully, from Mion. Definitely should keep some secrets from friends, especially if it's like completely irrelevant to anything. But it's weird. I can't just say that because it sounds kind of weird, but you know, there's definitely some things. I guess it's a case-to-case basis, but yeah.
ケイちゃんの論法だと隠し事をしないのが仲間みたいな話だけどさ、おじさんはそんなの嫌だね。
僕も嫌です。
Mion and Rika obviously disagreed with my statement. Satoko nodded, following suit.
言いたくないことを言わないで何が悪いわけ？人には話したくないことや辛いこと、悲しいこと、 失敗したことや思い出したくないことがたくさんある。それを全部打ち明けないと仲間と呼べないんなら、私はそんな仲間はいらないね。
でもそれじゃあ。
圭一、
Keiichi's just incredibly affected by Rena's extremely harsh statements that it made him need to tell you guys. It's just an after effect by the big blow Rena dealt. It's just how it is.
打ち明けなくていいことと打ち明けなくてはならないことは違いますのです。罪は許しを得るために打ち明けなくてはならない。でも打ち明けて許された罪はもう打ち明ける必要はないのですよ。
そうですわね。
It's a funky Q. Is that even a Q? I think they just put an O and then they're like, oops, you spelled it wrong and added the little line. I don't know if you've seen a capital Q. I guess it's pretty rare.
だって圭一さんはちゃんとおまわりさんのところに行って怒られてきたんでございましょう。
Yeah. I was saying last
それで
episode,
償いをして許してもらえたなら、それで圭一さんの罪はおしまいで
it's
すわ。
literally not much you can do, especially as a kid. Even the fact that he went to the police, too. It's as much as you can, honestly. Besides, like, I don't know if he gave an apology to every kid, but, you know, it's good enough for me. It's it. Yep.
自首してその結果を受け入れたなら、それでケイちゃんのお勤めは終わりだよ。もちろんケイちゃんが罪の十字架を背負い続けることはとても大切なこと。二度と過ちを繰り返さないよう常に胸に刻み続けるのは正しいことだよ。
Bum, bum.
でもね、それはケイちゃんが自戒することであって打ち明けなくちゃいけないことではない。
I mean, I'm personally glad Keiichi told it just so I would know, but I agree with what everyone's saying. It's definitely kind of an awkward situation.
そうですわよ。過去の恥ずかしい話なんかは私も内緒にしたいことがたくさんございましたよ。
Love the input.
さとこは特にいっぱいいっぱいあります
She
ので。
talked more. I do love the one-liner meeps. Oh, I'd love to hear some embarrassing Satoko stories.
私だけじゃございませんのよ。
Hit me with them, please, Rita.
リカもですわよ。リカもですわよ。
It's harder to believe.
みーみーみ
Okay. Satoko and Rita-chan fooled around with each other like they always did. Mian looked at them and then looked back at me.
今サトコはとてもいいことを言ったと思う。ケイちゃんにはどの部分かわかる？
過去の話は内緒にしたいというところか。
I mean, I would also like to know about that dark past. I mean, we kind of have a good picture of it, but like, I'd like to know it fully. But obviously, I'm not gonna share it. We'll learn eventually, hopefully.
その次の部分、
Oh, wait.
誰にだってあるってところだよ。
That's true. It's obviously a different, everyone has like a different level, but yeah, it's probably true. I mean, from something just embarrassing to like something maybe a bit more serious.
無菌室の試験管の中で育った人間でもない限り、人の人生は試行錯誤の繰り返しだと思う。
Are you sure nobody grows up in a sterilized room? Or is that just what they want you to think? Dun dun dun.
いいことも悪いことも、いろいろなことを繰り返して成長して、それで最後の最後に素晴らしい人間になれればいいんじゃない？いいことも悪いことも、すべてとても大切な経験なんだと思う。それは誰でも同じで、ケイちゃんだけじゃない。私にも、サトコにも、リカちゃんにも。いやいや、クラスの全員にも当てはまることなんだよ。
えばミーはもっと昔は札付きの悪猫さんだったのですよ。
In the damn protest.
にゃーにゃ
Thank you.
まあ本当はあんまり言いたかないんだけどね。
Are you sure? You sounded pretty proud of it in the past arts.
私から見ればモデルガンで闇討ちなんてかわいいもんだって。
I can believe that, especially since I did consider you a potential candidate for the first murder. But I don't know about that now. It's definitely decreased in the couple months since that. But yeah, setting
私なん
buildings
か
on fire,
レンガとか投げつけてたよ。いや本当。
throwing bricks at people. It's definitely a step up.
警察に何度お世話になったことやら。ダム戦争の最中はちょっとした留置場常連だったよ。いやいや本当に。
でも昔のことなのですよ。
And we move past it.
そしてそれを圭一に言う必要はないのです。
Yes,
仲間であってもなのです。
it's a great lesson.
仲間であっても
Just because you're besties, you can still hide stuff.
私だってとても言えないような苦い過ちや罪がいくつもあります。
Yeah, but your crimes are just traps. It's in your nature, Satoto. It's just unfortunate for the people that walked into them, to be honest. Don't go near the mountainside with all the traps.
でも言わないのは言っても仕方がないからですわ。
言って楽になるなら私たちは聞くよ。でもね、仲間だから言わなければならないなんてルールはない。
Cool. I hope Teichi takes this and has a secondary bout with Rena. Probably with this boost, you can probably... I mean, you can definitely counter this part, and then we'll have to see what Rena does to fight back.
むしろ仲間なら言いたくない過去を察してあえて聞かないのが本当の仲間なんじゃない？
それはそうだけど。
ケイちゃんが打ち明けて楽になったならそれでいいよ。私たちは今日の話をすぐにでも忘れる。それに今日の話を聞いたからケイちゃんとの接し方を変えるようなこともない。
圭一が前の町でしたことなんて今の圭一と何の関係もないのです。
This really is high friendship levels. I'm sure in like a normal friendship, there definitely would be cases where if someone admitted their past, some people would probably either just like passively sort of back away or just actually just back away. But it's good friends, quality friends. You got there, Keiichi. You know, they can all be a little spooky every now and then. Except for Satoto. Satoto still has not been spooky in my book. But but yeah, it's a good trade-off, kind of. I don't know if the mathematics is correct, because you usually lose your life and it may be because of them, but in my heart I feel like it might be a good trade-off just because of the fun times.
今の圭一が僕たちにとってかけがえのない仲間であるのなら前の町のことなんか僕は知りたくないのですよ。
理科の言う通りでございますわ。逆に前の町でどんなに善行を積もうともこちらに来て嫌な人だったなら前の町の善行なんかしたことじゃありませんわね。
It's a true statement. It's a great statement, actually.
ってことはさ、ケイちゃん。前の町での十字架は、ケイちゃんが密かに胸に秘めることであって、こっちでわざわざ口にする必要なんてないんじゃない？いや、仮に口にしてもだ。それでケイちゃんの見方を変える程度のやつだったら、私はそいつの方を見下げるね。
過去が何だろうと今が素晴らしい人間であるならばどうして恥じることがございますの？
Yes.
もし過去の過ちを一生取り戻せなかったら、私たちは何のために生き続けますの？
True. This is such a feels good conversation, huh?
サトクは過去にとても甘えん坊さんでした。
True.
それを後悔して今はこんなにも元気で頑張っていますのです。
Yay.
だから僕は今のサトクはとても素晴らしいと思いますです。昔どうだったかなんて僕は興味ないのです。リカ。
Aw. It's a cute Rika.
ケイちゃんだってどうよ。例えば私が留置場常連の札付きだとしたら私への見方を変える？
Nah, it comes with the territory. It fits your character.
変えないでしょ。私は私。
This might be a shot, by the way. Potential thumbnail icity. If you don't get a... If I'm too lazy to crop one out, which I usually am. It's usually a 60-40 split on me being too lazy. But sometimes if you get something good, you know, you have to do it. But, yeah.
いつものように楽しくふざけ合える関係は何も変わらないでしょ。それが仲間ってもんだもん。
What's going on? Huh? What? I don't understand. Miana's trying to cheer me up with an encouraging smile on her face, but her expression became distorted all of a sudden. Big teardrops fell from my eyes. Oh, it's tears. I thought something creepy was about to happen, but no, he's just crying. What? Why am I crying? Oh, man.
先に言っとく。俺はサトシのことは何も知らない。みんなが隠してたからな。
隠してたってわけじゃ。
Hey, is this from Anutakushi? Maybe?
毎年起こる事件のこと隠してたろ。
それはケイちゃんを。
Oh my god. Come on, how is this not a confirmation of linearness of the world? But that's weird. It's weird. The only problem I have with the linear route is just because of how I'm picturing the world from Umineto and the burnt castle talking to Rena thing, because I'm picturing it like it's more of a multiverse in that sense, but it really does seem like it's a linear reality, linear different realities, but it doesn't, it's weird. It's a weird thing, I don't know, man. I feel like the extra knowledge I have from Umineto is actually confusing me about the world setting, because I feel without it I would just say it's clearly a linear looping reality, where even though they're supposed to forget what's happening, they do remember, which makes it almost feel like it's non-looping, but there's no way it's non-looping. That would be too insane for me. But yeah, this is Anutakushi. And obviously it's relating to Kichi freaking out, but blaming them for not telling about Satoshi, but like they didn't want to because it wouldn't do anything. I mean, actually, it would do something because of how Teichi was acting like Satoshi, so maybe bringing it up would actually help, but I mean in principle, it was, they're doing it to not spook him or whatever.
怖がらせたくなかったってのか？それが理由で俺だけのけ者かよ。
いや、そんなつもりじゃ。
Mian didn't know what to say. She had tears in her eyes. She thought she did me a favor. She didn't know why it turned out like this. She didn't want to make me scared of the village since I just moved here. What more reason did she need?
ミオンに直にダム現場で事件がなかったかって聞いたよな。ミオンはないって言ったじゃないか。バラバラ殺人があったのによ。嘘つき野郎。
ごめん。嘘ってわけじゃ。
仲間ってのは隠し事なんかなしだろ。
I wonder if this is. I'm guessing it's 100% accurate, but I just don't remember.
そうだろ。じゃあお前らは仲間じゃない。
Oh man, that would have been a. Oh, is this really a 1-to-1 comparison, or is this like a different arc that he's just remembering that had a similar scene to Anutatashi? Because that would have like made me, if I caught that in the last episode, because Rena said the same thing exactly. That would have been insane. What are friends? What are friends? What were friends to me? They were my true friends. They really cared about me. They were so nice to me and helped me feel at home in this village. I couldn't have been happier. Everything was great, wasn't it?
ケイちゃん、そんなのって。
Mian seemed like she didn't know what to say. Her eyes looked moist. It was hard to believe she was really acting like this. It wasn't like Mian at all. I could feel her pain. She was in pain because she didn't know what I was blaming her for. She looked so sad, but I didn't notice her pain. I thought I was her friend. I didn't understand her feelings. I didn't trust her. I just used the word friends, but I didn't do anything like what friends were supposed to do.
そうだった。俺はクズだったんだ。
And I'm definitely looking this up. I mean, I don't know. You probably weren't. I mean, if you didn't see the Maitashi, I was super. I don't think I have to look that hard. I think it's probably the same, but I was super meta observant of the Keiichi stabbing.
ミオンはミ
So
オ
I'm
ンだっ
down
た
for
んだ。
that. It's actually pretty interesting.
俺の最高の仲間だったんじゃないか。
It's interesting investigating stuff like that for me. Usually when I'm not too much of a going back type.
どうしてミオンを疑っちまったんだ。どうして。
ケイちゃんさ、最近元気ないよね。
What is this?
都会から引っ越してきたんだもん。
Okay, what is this though?
きっと今頃になって疲れが出てきたんだよ。
This looks like a scene Keiichi isn't in because they're talking about him. Huh?
それで風邪をひいたんじゃないかな。
Is Keiichi Yashiro? No, I'm joking. Oh no, it's some weird stuff.
そっかそっか。じゃあ栄養をつけさせてあげないとね。
No.
ま
They're
っちゃん
talking
今日
to
おは
us.
ぎを作ってるんだよ。いくつか分けてもらってケイちゃんへのお見舞いにでもしてあげるか。
Oh no, this is the mochi thing. Oh. Yeah.
こんなみよ手を洗んとね。
But how are we having a flashback of it?
おいやレナちゃん
Well,
一つやってるんかい。
probably just to show us. Hey, Oryu.
へえ、おはぎ作りって面白そうですね。
What is the time? It's 1:17. Interesting. I'm like thinking to myself because I know it might. Actually, I won't even mention it. I'll just put a note to it myself. Because some people probably don't want to hear it later. So 1:17. Okay, I'll remember that for later.
レナも一つだけ作らせてもらおうかな。よいしょ、よいし
Are we
ょ。
gonna see what the surprise was? I called it like a lot, just to remind you, just so you're like, oh, you didn't call it. I did call it. I said that the needle. Well, my first iteration was that Mion did not put the needle in, and her like surprise or whatever, her little prank was like something actually harmless. That she just put something weird in one of the mochis. Then I thought Rena put it in because she was being more sus than Mion to me in Anukatsushi. But then if you do the whole misunderstanding arc, then Keiichi might have just imagined the needle altogether, and he didn't even get to try the weird one or whatever it is.
こと思いついたよ。
何みーちゃん。あ、その小瓶何かな
甘いおはぎだけじゃ退屈しちゃうだろうからね。うち一つにはクリティカルヒットでタバスコを混ぜておいてあげよう。
I might be wrong, but I do think I even said it might have been like hot sauce in one of them. If that could be wrong though, I actually don't remember. But yeah, in any case, I was right. I think that was the first because I didn't really think of this misunderstanding mindset till like fairly recently, but that was definitely the first misunderstanding theory I had way back in Anutachishi. That just seemed like obvious bait just from Mion's reaction to Keiichi freaking out at her. So good stuff. That's right, that's what happened. They brought Ohagi for me to help me get better. They only try to cheer me up. So Keiichi is clearly... I mean, that doesn't even make sense though. He wasn't there. So it's not him remembering what's happening. Maybe he's getting like the Rika treatment and freaking, I don't know, Yashiro or someone's feeding information into his mind. Because this literally... Okay, it's not linear. This doesn't actually prove it's linear. Maybe they're making you think it's linear. But again, that's a scene where Keiichi 100% wouldn't even know, so... I think it's different. It should still be like more like layered realities, or just realities kind of out there. I'm trying to think of the word. There's definitely a word for it that matches, but I can't remember. Oh no. But yeah, and maybe Keiichi's getting the Rika treatment, because that's the only thing that made sense. It's not a flashback at all. Unless he's just making this up in his head to match what happened in Anutachishi, but like, what the heck does that even mean? I don't know. Why did I get so scared of them? Just because Mion knew I had lunch at Angel Mort, I grew terrified of her. It's true. This is like an unparanoid version of it. I really need to like look back at Anutachishi to see if the words are different, because you want to hear an even bigger IQ opinion. What if these like flashbacks or whatever these are is not Anutachishi, but a whole different arc and a whole different reality, and it's just baiting you to believe that the stuff in Anutachishi was just a misunderstanding and this is its own thing. Oh boy, wouldn't that be extremely high IQ? Oh, interesting. 121. Only a 5-minute interval. Okay. Okay. Ooh.
Soだね。私たちはもう帰ろう。
They just wanted to cheer me up with a joke. But because I looked so serious.
じゃあね、ケイちゃん。
Hey, remember when she like peered through the door with the creepy eye thing? I remember that scene. Can we get an explanation of that? Please get better soon. I hope we can hang out in the club together tomorrow. That was a normal way of saying goodbye.
明日学校休んじゃ嫌だよ。
Oh man, I really want to see I want to see the comparisons. It'd be pretty fun. We'll do it for theory making probably though. First of all, have I ever visited any of my classmates who were absent with a cold? No, I haven't. I've never done such a nice thing to anybody because it's too much of a bother. Low-key, I didn't either, but I didn't have like this high level of friendship. But yeah. But they did that for me. I understand visiting a friend in the hospital, but I just caught a cold. But they came to visit me with Ohagi so that I could get better soon. I should have been thankful to them and said, I'll get better soon, and I'm sure I can come to school tomorrow. So I'll see you then. That was what I was supposed to say. But what did I do instead? I locked the door. I closed the door and locked it as if rejecting them. What was I so scared of? What was I so afraid of? Why didn't I say any words of appreciation to my friends who cared about me? You see, I want to say it's obviously set up as a flashback, but that the ohagi making thing was just, it's messing with my brain, because it's not a flashback, because it's impossible for it to be. I am telling you, it's a Rika information dump. Maybe not from Rika herself, but from female voice or Oyashiro. Or they could be the same. What was I thinking? It was impossible that there was a needle in one of them. There wasn't actually a needle at all. Or it could be that bait thing I said. That'd be funny. I don't know if they do that too. That's a little too mean, I feel. It was all in my head because I read some manga about someone putting needles or razor blades in people's food. Is that a thing? I don't remember that information. That would have been funny if that was a thing. Just a passing minor detail. It scared me so much that I believed it could happen to me for some reason, and I thought there was a needle in the ohagi. You were so stupid, Keiichi. Why would your friends put a needle in food they only brought to make you get better? It was crazy to think like that. But he's personally feeling like he's experienced it, so it's interesting. It's good stuff. Honestly, people have been hyping up a twist and I actually don't know what it is. I don't know if it was the Rika thing, or if it's slowly revealing into linear story. Or if it was something else. But yeah, I don't know. It's all good stuff though. Everything I listed was kind of fun for me, so that's good. Even if there was a needle in one of them, I should have thought that it was some kind of mistake and I should have believed my friend's innocence. That's what a true friend would do, but what did I do? Pound, splatter, smash. Oh yeah, I thought he was talking about their bodies, but yes, the ohagi. Ohagi is just, I've been saying mochi, but I just say mochi for ohagi in general, even though mochi is just the rice. It doesn't have to have filling, but that's what they're just labeled as in Canada too, so. They threw the ohagi they spent so much effort making on the floor. Why? Why did I do that? I got along so well with them. I moved to Hinamizawa, and I made friends for the first time in my life. They were my best friends. Meeting them was the most wonderful experience of my life. I'd probably never have another one like that for the rest of my days. I knew that, but I got scared and I doubted them. They noticed that I was acting odd. That's why they called the manager Irie. Okay, I don't know if I can believe this. This is just assumptions, right? We never saw Irie. Oh no, I don't know about this. Or it could be. Why would they call him the manager, though? Does he manages the baseball team? But would Keiichi even know about that? I guess he would if it's linear. Because we've seen Tsumiboroboshi. Oh, man. I don't know. The manager thing was a bait the whole time. I don't hate it. I don't hate that being a bait and just making you think of it for the whole time, thinking that has to be the mastermind. When it wasn't. Oh, it's weird, though. Okay, how are you going to explain the other stuff, though? I want that. They thought a sedative might help me relax so I can rest and get better. That's why they carried me up to my room. Mion just wanted to make it fun. She's the kind of person who expressed her goodwill by making a joke out of it. This was the one scene I was thinking of, too, that I was like, please explain how this could possibly be a... what was it? Like a misunderstanding? There you go. I knew that better than anybody. She knew Irie would roll up my shirt to check my heartbeat with a stethoscope. She was just trying to draw graffiti on my shirt, just as she did with Tomodachi-san as punishment for the game he lost. Yes, that's why Mion took a felt marker out of her pocket. Not a needle? A marker? I don't know about this. I don't know about this because we know the needle's important. Because Rika showed it. Burn Rika. Ooh, this might be a bait. I don't know. I don't want to believe it. I'm being paranoid like Keiichi. She brought a marker from home because she just wanted to do something funny. Okay, I'm gonna wait for them to give all my answers, but stuff I'm looking for is why did the marker disappear from the taping thing? Why did and who were those guys? If they can explain that, then I'll be fine. Honestly, I don't care. I'll believe it for a nice 80-20 split. I think that's like generous enough. She tried to cheer me up by making me take a punishment for the fun rather than nursing me, because that's just what Mion is like. She went to the trouble of bringing a felt marker to my house, just because she wanted to cheer me up. Rena held me down tightly, and Mion came closer to me to write something on my shirt. Mion whispered the words she was going to write on my shirt. I heard them. I heard them clearly. I heard what she was going to write on my shirt. I honestly don't remember the whisper. I hope you get well soon, Mion. Oh wait, I do remember that. She was coming up with the needle and she was like, I hope you get well soon. I feel like that. I heard them. Then why? I should have known she wasn't going to do anything to hurt me. Then why? Why? Why did the marker look like a syringe to me? Why did I think that Mion was going to kill me? It was impossible. It was impossible. Why? Why did I misunderstand that Mion was going to kill me? Ah! The numbness in my head receded, and slowly I felt blood starting to run through my entire body again. How long was I squatting down there? For a few minutes? Or a lot longer than that? As I looked up on the clock, the hands weren't moving at all, as if they stopped while I had my eyes closed. Really? The atmosphere in the room wasn't filled with insanity like it was earlier, but it was quiet and gray. Rena wasn't holding me down, and Mion wasn't about to give me an injection. Was all of that just some kind of illusion? There's no sense of presence other than myself in that room. It was an extraordinary experience, the kind I've never had before. I was there, with Rena and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but at the same time I felt some kind of relief too. Ha ha ha, the scary incident was just an illusion after all. Neither Rena nor Mion would have done such a terrible thing to me. Tears started forming in my eyes. My emotions were running high. Okay, does that like, oh wait. I think that actually confirms it. I feel like he just switched realities or something, right? And maybe that's what happened in oh, what if that's what happened in Anu Takushi? He blacked out and he switched with like a different reality of Keiichi. That's why he was had no memories of him brutally killing the two. Not because someone else did it. Like I originally thought like he blacked out and then someone else killed the two of them. But maybe like the Keiichi in that reality killed them, and then for some reason they switched with another reality Keiichi or something, and he had no idea what was happening. Or he didn't remember killing. That could be something. It's just the wording. It made it sound like a reality switch or something. It wasn't a question of why tears were forming in my eyes. Why? It was a question of my sadness. Excuse me. Why did I feel so sad? I don't know. I don't know. You don't know? What do you mean you don't know? You do know. I was so stupid. What the hell was I doing? I was so pathetic and helpless. Mion just tried to cheer me up. That was all. I liked her so much. She was my best friend. She was older than me, but she hung out with me like we were the same age. She was the first one who came to talk to me in class. She was so nice to me, but oh, wait, maybe never mind. Never mind. Maybe that wasn't a hint to it. Overreacting. Mian was lying down in an unnatural position near the window. She was covered in dusty red blood from her head to her chest. The red fluid splattered on the wall was Mian's. What had I done? What had I done? I would never forgive myself.
俺みんなのこと本当に友達だと思ってたんだぜ。
Why? Why did this happen? There's nothing fun in my life at my old school. When I talked to anyone, it was only ever about my chances of passing the entrance exam of the schools we wanted to go to. My life was shaded in gray. Friends to me were rivals and enemies to vie with for school recommendation and test scores. My friends here taught me just how unnatural that was. This whole month was a blast. We raised the roof over lunch, our club activities, and the festival. A warm liquid flowed out of my eyes. To my surprise, it was my tears. I didn't have any obligation to cry for them, but I couldn't stop it. Even though they attempted to kill me. Even though they almost killed me. I couldn't forget the memories we made during the past month. Or were those fun days fake? Was it an act that they kept playing perfectly to set me up until today? Was it only me who believed that they were my friends? It couldn't be. Rena and Mian, they were my friends for real. Those happy days couldn't have just been a performance. Rena and Mian have been forced by somebody to kill me. Or that an extraordinary existence total Yashiro-sama possessed them and took over their consciousness. No matter what it was, both Rena and Mian were my best friends. I was stupid. I was such a fool. Such a fool, such a fool, such a fool. I wasn't making any sense at all. I killed my best friends. They were my best friends. Then why didn't I trust them? Why didn't I listen to them? I beat them to death. Who did I think I was? I made it sound like I didn't do anything wrong. I felt like everybody went crazy except me. I was such a fool. It was the other way around. I wonder if it is like the information dump, but like instead like he's actually seeing it like from a different perspective. Like it's not him and I don't know. Never mind. It's too confusing. Let's just continue on. Of course it was. I was the only one who went crazy. Like how Rena is doing right now.
俺は
Look
な
at
んて
that
ことをし
Mian.
てしまったんだよ。
I feel like every time I see that Mian face, you gotta mention it. Hey, look at the cute Mian.
なんてこと。
Mian was still alive. I have a memory of beating her to death because I couldn't trust her, but that's a memory from a non-existent different world. But even though it happened in a different world, I killed Mian. And I didn't realize how deep the sin was. Okay, I'm gonna say non-linear. No. But like if it's a memory, then it has to be linear. So it can't be non-linear. It has to be like weirdly linear, like maybe zigzaggy. Give it like it's a line, but it's like there can be like intercepting realities or something. Because it doesn't make sense for it to be linear, I feel. Just from the picture of what I'm thinking of. But yeah, Keiichi's self-aware for some reason. We don't have any proof that anyone else is self-aware. Even Rena, who's like super out there and kind of on a trail to finding out the truth, she's definitely not self-aware. It's only him and Rika right now. And like whoever was spying on Oishi, who I thought was Rika anyways, but it could be someone else. So a maximum of 3 people are self-aware from what I see. I even thought until now that Mian was at fault for being killed.
どうしたんですの、ケイイチさん。
わかんない。ケイちゃん、落ち着いて落ち着いて。私は生きてるよ。ケイちゃんになんか殴り殺されてたまらかっての。
Did we say that out loud? No, what is this? See, this is weird. How are they reading Keiichi? It doesn't make sense. It actually doesn't make sense. How are they reading that? How are they reading that from? That's why I said it's freaking weird, dude. Or is he like saying that out loud? I don't know. That's so weird to me. So specific.
ねえ、そうですわよ。
Okay, maybe that cue is actually like on purpose. It just looks so stuffed to me.
圭一さんごときに遅れを取るようなのは我が部にはおりませんでしたよ。
違うんだ。違うんだ。
Miana and Satoto looked confused, having no idea why I was trying. But I couldn't help myself. I learned just now that I could earn redemption by confessing my sin, but I could never earn redemption for this, not from Mion. No matter how much I tried in this world, nobody could give me forgiveness, and so I could never earn redemption for this sin. Right then, Shia-sensei came in and noticed me crying. You wouldn't see a teenage boy crying like that very often. Shia-sensei asked me what was going on, but at that moment I couldn't hear anything. Mion and Satoto looked confused. They didn't know how to explain the situation. Rika-chan approached me from the midst of my sobs.
圭一は
Ooh,
覚えているのですか？
the two self-aware people.
レナとミーを殺したことを。
そうだ。俺が殺したんだ。殺したんだ。なのに俺は何の罪も認めずに、まるで自分は被害者のつもりで、死ぬ最後の瞬間まで仲間を呪って恨んで血がいっぱい出て、そして結局何の後悔もなく一人で勝手に死んだ。
I clawed at my itchy throat in a phone booth. I didn't notice my sin, and I died alone.
圭一、
Bro, I don't know, but I'm like, this session has been like getting in my feels way more than it might. I don't know, like, are people like getting, do you guys feel generally sad reading this session? Because I'm feeling weird. It's making me feel sadder than it maybe. I don't know. Is it portraying to be super sad? The music kind of is. It's weird though.
あなたの罪に気づきましたのですか？
気づいた。こんなにも今頃になって俺は気づいたよ。思い出したんだ。ここじゃない別のよく似た世界で俺はなぜか仲間たちに疑心暗鬼を持って殺してしまったんだ。仲間たちは俺に救いの言葉をかけていたはずなんだ。なぜそれに耳を傾けられなかった？どうしてだよ。
I didn't care if people were staring. I just kept crying. I wanted to transmute my sin to tears in order to squeeze it out of me. But the tears that were coming out of my eyes weren't my sin. They were just tears of regret for doing something irreversible. At that time, I felt something touching my head. The head pat master. I opened my eyes and saw Rika-chan patting my head gently. I didn't need any comfort. I didn't deserve any comfort from Rika-chan. But the words she spoke to me weren't ones of comfort.
圭一を許しましょう。圭一は自分で自分の罪に気づきましたのです。それはとても偉くて普通ではありえないことなのです。
Purgatory or something? Can make it seem like that from the other arts too. Like you can say on Takashi Keiichi was the murderer, Watanashi it was either Mion or Shion. Well, Maitashi was definitely Shion. I mean Tsumihoroboshi was like Satoto would be like the biggest twist in the world if Satoto killed Rika, but I hope not. Low key though, the way she flipped on Keiichi, like when she was like, "Oh, Teppei's alive. What are you talking about, Keiichi?" And then when she saw Rika dead, she was like, "Keiichi, you killed Teppei and Rika? You're a monster!" Like she like quickly flipped. So I thought that was weird, but I don't know. That's literally all the suspicion. I don't think Satoko really did it. I'm just would be interesting.
だから
And this is
誰も圭
Rena's
一の偉さが
kind
わ
of.
からなくて、それを許してあげることはできませんのです。でも僕にはそれを許すことができます。僕には圭一の凄さがわかるのです。
リカちゃん。
私はこれが奇跡であることがわかる。だってこれはありえないことなのだもの。
Yeah, sounds like a miracle to me.
あなたが別の自分の罪に気づくなんて
It's just the
絶対にありえな
inspiration,
いこと。
the inspiration Rika got for the next series.
なのにあなたはそ
I
れ
mean-
に気づけた。
I guess it wouldn't be inspiration, is it? Like, I don't know. It was kind of a weird. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
それはきっとこの地上に具現するどんな奇跡すらも霞むほどのもので、信じられないくらい尊いもの。
Oops, sorry, Rika. I didn't understand anything Rika-chan was saying, but I felt like she's the only one who understood that impossible memory I had.
なら今のあなたにならわかるはず。リュウグウレナがどういうことになっているのか。
ああ、わかるぜ。あの時の俺と同じなんだ。仲間のことを信じたくてしょうがないのに信じられないんだ。どんどん自分がおかしくなっていくのに、そいつがわからなくて世界の方がおかしくなったって信じてやがるんだ。
It's kind of reminiscent of Tsumihoroboshi too. I feel like Keiichi was saying that a lot. How the word impossible doesn't matter in Hinamizawa, just how different it is. Though I do think Tsumihoroboshi's thing was kind of different though. I really do feel like because the whole reality stuff is literally confirmed now. Like it's been confirmed for a little bit, so I mean, yay. As someone who I think I was watching Higurashi when I started thinking about how stuff works. But yeah, I really do feel like that might be the arc with a lot of crossover stuff. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see.
どうすりゃ救えるかなんてわからねえよ。わからないんだ。
Also, they didn't explain why the thing was drawn, but maybe I don't know if they saw it. Did they say it was replaced by a marker? I don't remember. It might have been. But like, who were those guys in the white van trying to kidnap Keiichi or whatever too? That was unexplained. And that might be a sketchy part. That might not actually be a misunderstanding because of how absurd that sounds. So, yeah, maybe. Not saying the other stuff was false. I'm like I said, I'm skeptical as a person, but I'm willing to accept most of what Keiichi saw. Like 80-20.
だって俺はダメだった。結局死ぬまで、いや死んでも気づけなかったんだ。それをレナに気づかせるなんてどうやって。救えないよ、救えない。俺がそうだったからよくわかるんだ。どうやったってもう救えないんだ。
Calm down, Keiichi. I did fail, but that didn't mean Rena would too. There's no excuse not to save her because I thought she'd fail. After all, what did Rena do back then? I was totally gone mad, but she risked her life to save me. In my room, in that world, I would have beaten her many times with a metal bat. But she was smiling. She knew I was scared, and that's why she smiled for me. I beat her so many times, her arms were broken and her forehead was cut open. Ugh. I remembered. Rena didn't block her head. Even at the very last moment, she opened her arms towards me, like she was looking for a hug. But I still doubted her, and raised them at a bat up high. Rena told me then that it was okay.
私を信じて。
Man, that makes me so sad. My friend told me my friend still told me to believe in her. She told me to trust her. But I still didn't. I lost it and attacked her. She was in danger. She was actually killed. But she didn't even block her head. Instead, she used her arms to reach out for me. Man, that's... man. This is so good. Rena continued to say those words until the moment she died. Trust me. Please. Trust me. She risked her life to save me. Until her very last moment, she kept telling me to believe in her. But I didn't listen. For so long, I truly believed that I didn't do anything wrong.
リカちゃんに許してもらえて少し心が軽くなった。でもやっぱり俺の罪はレナの目は俺が覚ます。
Rena risked her life to save me. She cared about me until her very last moments. She trusted me. She believed that her words would reach my heart, so she kept saying them, until I cracked her skull. I don't care if I die. Rena died for me. I can die for her too. I was such a fool for failing to understand my friend's feelings. That's why I didn't understand what she was saying. But Rena might be different.
この世界はもうおかしくなっちまった。でもだからといって諦めていいなんてことはねえんだよな。
That might motivate Rita, because I feel like Rita's kind of quitting and just jumping for worlds for the fun times.
諦めるってことは信じないってことだ。俺はレナを仲間の絆を信じるぜ。だからまだ間に合うんだ。惨劇は回避できる。運命には抗える。俺たちはあがく。
So motivational.
そして掴めるんだ。その先の未来って。
Rita-chan nodded with a serious look on her face, and she put her hand in the pocket of her skirt.
圭一、私も諦めない。
It's cute. Dude, it's so it's so hard imagining a cute burn Casto, but this is a cute burn Rita, and it makes me happy.
この世界から希望を失ってたまるものか。私は数えきれない失敗に疲れ果ててた。だから世界がおかしくなることに諦めを感じるようになってた。だからもうレナがどうなろうと知ったことではないと。でもそれは間違いだった。戦おうとする意志がこんなにも美しく神々しくて、そして運命すらねじ曲げかねない奇跡だから私は
Sorry, Rita.
あなたと共に戦おう。もう一度戦おう。何度でも戦おう。その先の未来に至れるまで何度。
リカとケイチさんが何の話をしてるのかさっぱりわかりませんでしたよ。
Weird vibes. So Taste of Totoro, we need your help too, though. If you want to help.
覚えていないのは当然なのです。ケイイチがすごいだけなのですよ。
私の高尚な脳みそではさっぱりでしたよ。
True, true. You don't need to think about these things, Totoro. Rita touched Totoro's forehead to hers.
でもいつかは思い出してあげてください。あなたが抗えぬ不幸の袋小路にとらわれた時、ケイイチはあなたを救おうと全身全霊をかけて戦ってくれたことを
眉唾でございますわよ。
ね、圭一。
Rita-chan looked at me, smiling as if waiting for my agreement. I wasn't sure if I could risk my life for Satoto. No, I was sure I'd risk my life for her. Satoto's my friend. If anybody tried to make her unhappy, I'd beat them up without hesitation. I'd risk my life to save her. There might have even been a world like that. I nodded to Rita-chan. Interesting. So we don't have the knowledge of Tsumihoroboshi, but we have Higurashi at least. I think they mentioned Tsumihoroboshi in one of those flashbacky things, so maybe he does, just not as strongly as Higurashi. Rita-chan nodded back to me, looking happy.
前原君、何かありましたか?
Gee, are you also a aware person of the multiverse happening? I wouldn't doubt it. Blue-eyed, did you cosplay as Mion to stab me? Stab Keiichi and Watanashi. She sensei realized that I'd finally calmed down and she asked me that.
いえ、なんでもないんです。騒がせてすみませんでした。それより、ミオ。
You know what, I'm like, by the way, I've updated my score of believing Keiichi to like 99% to 1%. Just with this Rita confirmation, it like makes total sense to me. I just needed that Rita confirmation. Now I'm like 100% down just to believe it. It's good. It's good in my book. Me and Sosa probably like, I mean, if you were in that room, you're like, what the fuck is happening?
何?
Ooh, does he remember Watanashi? That's some romance points, though. Some good points. Mion stepped back, not knowing what was going on. She bumped into the blackboard.
何ケイちゃんマジな顔でどうしたの?
That's rare. I don't know if I should use it because it's not as fitting as anything else, but come on. Close up cute Mion sprite. It's trying to be a tough one. Tough choice. I held Mion tightly. She still didn't know what was going on and her face turned red. Crying on her shoulder, I told her the following.
すまなかった。本当にすまなかった。
何がよ、ケイちゃん。おじさん、本当に何のことかわかんないよ。
わかんなくてもいい。わかんなくてもいい。わかんなくてもいいから。聞いてくれ。本当にすまなかった。そして、おはぎ。うまかったぜ。本当にうまかった。元気が出た。
Well, that's just a lie. Does it didn't. But I understand, Keiichi.
だから、俺、明日からちゃんと学校に通えるから、また明日も学校で会おうなって、それが言えなくて、今日まで感謝の言葉が遅れて、本当にすまなかった。俺はミオンを、いや、仲間を誰だろうと、二度と疑わない。二度とだ。絶対にだ。だからミオン、あの日の俺をどうか許してくれ。
Mion must have no idea what I was talking about. Of course I didn't either. I didn't understand what I was talking about. But my sin wasn't forgiven yet. I needed to confess my sin in order to receive her forgiveness.
ミオンが命を懸けてくれたことを俺は知ってる。だからいつかミオンに何かの不幸が訪れたら、俺は絶対に命を懸けて助けるからな。絶対だ。約束する。
ケイちゃん照れるな。
Bam, 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 bam. Mia's face was bright red. She didn't know what was going on. Satoko was blushing too with a confused look on her face. But Rita-chan and I understood everything. We weren't going to accept the tragedy. We couldn't give up just because the world was going out of order. We were going to fight against this fate to the very last moment. Mian fought for me too. Rena fought for me. That's why I was going to fight for Rena. Just like she did for me, and I was going to risk my life to save her. There you go. What a freaking sesh, bro. That was such a good session. Lots of answers. I guess misunderstanding theorists are probably at this chapter are like, I don't know, party crackers. You know, get yourself a slice of cake. This is good eats. And then I'm like 99% sure. Just because it doesn't really make sense for Rita to lie then. So I trust it. I just don't know. I guess he was paranoid about the syringe because of Tomotachi's death's details. It's weird. And I guess him taping the marker thing just messed up the whole investigation because it added a layer of mystery that was just fabricated by Keiichi, huh? I'm interested in what, there's still some unanswered stuff. I'm interested in, the non-paranoid version of Rena chasing after Keiichi, and I'm also interested in, again, I think those people trying to capture Keiichi at the end is actually something that really happened, which is interesting. But I'm more interested in what made Keiichi, I mean, I don't know what about the ripping the throat stuff, but like what made him change his tune to Oishi in his last moment, saying that the curse was real when he was so adamant that he was just trying to get killed. I mean, he was targeted by his friends and other people to kill him. But yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see next time. What a great sesh. That really, that was really good. No words. It was just really good. I was hoping for the bad story, but we got a lot more. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you next time for Friday. Let's see if the rest of this chapter is just as good. I'm hoping. Yours too.